emergency warning. This is not an emergency. Yes, it is. We're back. Believe in Iowa State crew. Tyler Carter here.
Cody Vanciolom here.
Man, we got some news today. In the transfer portal. So apparently, I guess other conferences like to tamper because Rocco said that he is staying with the Cyclones, which we already knew because he didn't even hit the transfer portal. So I gotta think that that's some form of tampering if ACC and SEC teams were already talking to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is from Brett McMurphy. He reported this at about 12:30 earlier today, where he reported on Twitter. Iowa State quarterback Rocco Becht, who was pursued by multiple SEC and ACC schools to enter the portal, is returning to the Iowa State Cyclones next season. Sources said Becht, one of the nation's top quarterbacks, remained at Iowa State because of the loyalty and culture under head coach Matt Campbell.
Yeah, I mean, it speaks to Coach Campbell, and we'll get to him later, but it speaks to the culture that he's built in the 9 seasons that he's been at Iowa State, and ever since Rocco's been quarterback, and just starting off from last summer when he put on that camp for Perry to use his NIL money,
Mm-hmm.
like that's that special type of guy right there.
Yeah, I think he's for sure like, and this is like coming back to the quote that his dad uh told him when he committed to a school. Is like, you commit to a school, you're going to stay at that school. And that's what Anthony Beck told Rocco when he did sign. So I think this is a testament to not just the culture under Matt Campbell, but also like personal like morale with like his dad or whatever, given that like understanding like staying loyal, staying committed to wherever you go, because Anthony Beck was ready to support Rocco. The main thing was, as long as you stay committed, you stayed at that school all 4 years or however long you're there for.
Yeah, I mean, and that's not in this era of college football, that's not really common to see. And I don't blame people who who did leave because they want to get more playing time. Like, some kids do it just for to get money, but some kids genuinely just want to transfer because you're like, well, look, I see the writing on the wall. I'm not gonna I'm not going to get any playing time here, so I'm gonna go somewhere else and get my opportunity. And just to the guys that left for our team, they saw the writing on the wall that that they weren't gonna play. Few notable guys were Trayvon Howard, JJ Cole, um, Kennard Snyder. Um, all you guys, we just wish you the best of luck and your best of luck in your future endeavors, and we hope that you do well wherever else you play.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Just really wishing the best for them, obviously, because I mean, they definitely like. I think some of these guys can find like great spots at other teams. Like some teams are definitely looking for like these pieces, and I think the pieces that are the transfer portal from Iowa State, I think they're gonna get a piece that like knows what it's like to be at a place that like it focuses on culture and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So I think the like whatever school lands these people, like lands these transfers, I think they might do pretty well. As just gonna see how it goes, but yeah, but also on the other hand of that, with the departures, we have also had some visits and some
Mm-hmm.
like offers as well. Notable offers include Xavier Townsend, uh, wide receiver from UCF, who actually was a former Iowa State commit and a friend of Rocco Becht. So pretty interested to see how Xavier Townsend like might return, because honestly, I think he could, just because of he still has those connections, like, and I think he maintained a good relationship with the Iowa State staff even while he's at UCF. So I'm thinking with that friendship with Rocco, that connection, I think that might give Townsend a little bit more of an in to come back to Iowa State.
Yeah, I believe he was a part of the 2021 class. I believe. Um, but yeah, 2021. No, 2022 class because that was the class that Rocco was in. Because fun fact, he played. He was the running back slash wide receiver for the same high school that Arch Manning played at.
Hmm.
I watched one of their showcase games, and that was when we were still heavily recruiting Xavier Townsend. And I was like, oh, he put Arch Manning? Okay, cool. So he was in the same backfield as Arch Manning. So I think he would be fitting great, especially just with a lot of our receiving production leaving that wide receiver room is up for grabs with young guys and some hopefully some offers that we get.
Yeah. Other notable other wide receivers that have received offers from Iowa State, you have Chase Sowell from East Carolina, Javon Tracy from Miami of Ohio, who Miami Ohio had just gone to the MAC championship game. So I think, and it being from the state of Ohio, I think Matt Campbell will still has like that Ohio like recruiting ground, given he was the head coach at Toledo. So he probably recognizes like some of the names on like that staff, perhaps. And then
Hmm.
you've also got Trey Spivey from Kansas State, oddly enough. So turns out Kansas State did have a wide receiver go into the portal. It just wasn't the one that was alleged like right before Farmageddon happened.
Right.
And then alongside those four wide receivers thus far, you have had defensive back Trey Bell from Lindenwood and defensive tackle Langdon Kitchen from Northwest Missouri State.
So let's hope that those go well. And it's still early in the transfer recruiting transfer portal recruiting area. So I'm definitely going to be. I believe if you guys are looking for all the transfer portal news, I believe On Three does have a transfer portal Twitter page that you can follow.
Hmm.
I think it's just you just put in transfer portal, type in transfer portal On Three, and it will show you all the transactions basically that are happening.
Yep. And if you are looking for Iowa transfer portal words focus on Iowa State, you can head over to Cycle Fanatic where Connor Ferguson has this transfer portal tracker that he's put out this week, so you can keep up to date with any like transfer portal action that's related to Iowa State. There.
Yep. And so, for that real quick, let's talk about the other big news. Let's talk about Matt Campbell being extended until 2032 season.
Yeah. Details on this. This was released by Iowa State about a couple, like literally, I believe, an hour after the Rocco Beck news broke. Iowa State put out a release talking about a contract extension for Matt Campbell. So his contract has officially been extended through 2032. It says here, first paragraph says it's on the Iowa State webpage. It says after leading the Iowa State football program to its first 10-win season in the program's 133-year history and its seventh bowl game in 9 seasons. Three-time Big 12 head coach of the year, Matt Campbell, has agreed to a new 8-year contract that will keep him on the Cyclone sideline through December 31st, 2032. Iowa State President Dr. Wendy Winterstein and Director of Athletics Jamie Pollard announced today. Wendy Winterstein in this presser says that Coach Campbell has built a special football program at Iowa State, one that all Cyclone fans can take great pride in, Winterstein said. His continued commitment to both academic and athletic excellence, combined with his strong character and integrity, makes him the ideal individual to lead Iowa State's football program. He is very deserving of this new contract. What are your thoughts?
I mean, we keep telling people, other fan bases love to tell us that we're gonna lose our coach. You're gonna lose Matt Campbell. Matt Campbell doesn't want to be here. And then there's the pessimistic people in our fan base. Oh, we're gonna lose him. We're gonna lose him. No, he has said season after season after season. I don't know how many years it's gonna take y'all to believe him, but like his actions have proven that he wants to stay here and build something. And to me, it doesn't really make sense why you would leave after a year where we won 10 games and we had an appearance in the Big 12 championship game. Also, a chance to have a school record 11 wins if we win this bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
Like you already have a good foundation here. You're on even footing with every other team in the Big 12. I mean, like I am over the moon right now. I'm so happy that he's staying.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I the one like criticism I think a lot of people are having is like the lack of postseason success for Matt Campbell, which
Hmm.
is understandable because he other than that first Liberty Bowl appearance in 2017 and the Fiesta Bowl, he hasn't really been able to win like these postseason games. And you mentioned the Big 12 championship game. This is the second time in 5 years that Iowa State has made an appearance to in the Big 12 championship game. Now, obviously, I think at some point you do kind of expect Matt Campbell to be able to get over the hump. But I mean, this is the time. Like this year, I think this was a bit of an overachievement for Iowa State.
Hmm.
Like I think we had them winning what like I think we both said that they would finally win 10 games, but did we say that he would make the Big 12 title game?
Well, yeah, we said I said that they were going to play K State in the title. I think I said that back to back weeks that we're going to play K State, but like I think I also had a thought that we could possibly go 9-3 and then get 10 wins in a bowl game, but
Yeah,
just about yeah.
yeah. So about like where we expected, but like this was the year for him to be able to get that landmark because now you have a lot more history. I think, and now with Campbell, you can tell recruits like you don't just have like you have a great culture or whatever. You can tell them now, hey, we can contend for the Big 12, we can contend for a college football playoff, and that's what's being shown right now at Iowa State. And keeping Campbell, you maintain like that continuity, which is in today's world of college football, something that's very vital to have, given the constantly shifting parts and all that. You kind of want to have like something there that's like anchored down. No pun intended for Vanderbilt, but
Right.
yeah, just having that like stability is key to having sustained winning.
Yeah, when you have that stability, like players pay attention to that. Players see that. They're not that because players will definitely trust a coach who is a man of his word. Like it's not just a one way street just with the players having their word. The coach needs to also have their word too, so they can be proven trustworthy. And that you know, like we said, like you brought up the whole postseason thing. That's just another step in building up this program to be even like we were talking about going from bad to good is easier, but being good to great, like because now look, let's say we go 11-3 next year, people are going to be expecting us to win 9 to 10 games every year now. that's
Hmm.
that's that's all it means. But like if I know any person that's up for that challenge, it's definitely Matt Campbell.
Hmm. Yeah, not just expect like and then like for years to come, you expect like I think that's not just the fan base, but also like like the team themselves. They know they can do so much now that they like have that confidence that they have reached it. Now it's a matter of can you sustain it? Can you be consistently around this area? And that's going to be the new standard that's set within this
Hmm.
program. And I think it's a great thing to see and it's a great challenge. And Matt Campbell is the guy to step up for that challenge. So very excited for this future. And very just grateful to be able to keep Matt Campbell. And now, like, I think things might start like falling more in favor of Iowa State. I think that the Iowa State Cyclones are trending up.
Yeah, I mean the Iowa State Cyclones, the current iteration of the Iowa State Cyclones are here to stay. This not my Iowa State Cyclones. This isn't your dad Iowa State Cyclones. This is not your even your grandpa's. This is a new and improved
Yeah.
version of the Cyclones that are here and here to stay, and
Yeah.
not and you know a team that you can actually fully believe in. So we
Hmm.
gotta let's really really get behind this team, y'all.
Yeah. I think my like current generation and just being glad like this will be a more personal note, but being able to be here for like basically like my senior year, getting to witness all this, I think this is just the culmination of what it's like to stick through with Iowa State, having grown up my entire life, and now the fact that I am a senior, like I'm attending the university, I can be proud to attend this university. Just a lot of great morale has been given to this university as a result of football performing so well that like you can feel prideful now that to be an Iowa State fan. I think that's what it is.
So I'll share a whole like personal information. Like the people that are watching, like I'm pretty sure if you have or haven't talked to me, like I only went to Iowa State for like 1 year. So like it hurt me when I couldn't come back because I was an out of state student. And like I always went back twice, and I was like initiating the fraternity and all that stuff. And like when I was there, bro, like about 13 years ago, when me and Eric were there, that's where I met Eric my freshman year.
Hmm.
We a lot of people used to wear different universities on campus. Like, I'm not gonna lie,
Hmm.
bro. I used to
Hmm.
wear my Florida hoodies all the time on campus. People
Yeah.
were wearing Iowa stuff on campus, Oregon stuff, any other stuff because the football team wasn't worth cheering for.
Right.
Like, and just really just to see the culmination of Matt Campbell coming here in the first year, even though 3-9. I mean, one of the games that stood out to me was that Baylor game when they lost 52-49 on a walk off field goal.
Hmm.
Just like the culmination of seeing that and me like just finally able to believe that this team can go in 2020 and then like find and then just to 2024 starting off 7-0 and having that ride and then just winning the last three to get to 10 wins and now and make it to another Big 12 championship game. I'm like, this is absolutely amazing. This is just what I dreamed of what Iowa State could be, and this is just not something that I have to dream up on NCAA football. Like, this is actually something that I can actually see in real life.
Uh-huh. And the way this season happened, I think it was very fitting for Iowa State. It's even for this like dream season, it was not easy because even with
Hmm.
that 7-0 start, you did have a couple games where it looked a little shaky. I mean, you talk about week 2 against Iowa, you were down 13 nothing at halftime at Kinnick, so you had that first hurdle to deal with and they like Cable said in the post game, like the post game interview, you play tougher for longer. And I think that was the theme for this season as a whole. Um, go to like Baylor and West Virginia, you get down early, but you have a couple of momentum swings that favor you. You had the UCF game that was a very like hard like that was just gritty win. Rocco Beck leading that game winning drive. That was the mental fortitude they had, and
Yeah.
even the Texas Tech game, you had it right there, but unfortunately you fell short. But the team still fought, like they fought, so they could easily be 11-2. They switched that game around. Like that's one of those winnable games. Kansas, like you ran into a buzzsaw. You caught Kansas at the wrong time. They
Yeah. Like, honestly, even if we would have won that Tech game, I would have, like you said, I probably would have just counted that as a loss coming
y-
in.
yeah, with the way Kansas just found
Yeah.
form, they found form out of that bye week. So that was, and I mean, you look at it, it wasn't really the worst like thing ever because it wasn't just you that lost them. It was BYU and Colorado that also ran into them and they lost as well. So
Right.
it was the three top ranked teams at the time playing Kansas that lost to them. So Kansas showed flashes of what they could have been, but unfortunately, the first half of the season just that's a lost season for Kansas. I really think if Kansas had figured out their issues like early on,
Hmm.
I think they would have been like what we expect them to be, and that's contend for a Big 12 title. So,
Definitely. That's probably the I'll call them the what could have been team of the year.
yeah, it's kind of like it does give me shades of like our 2021 season, like what could have been. Like it, there's a
Man.
lot of parallels. There was a lot of parallels to that to this year's Kansas team to our two teams right after that Fiesta Bowl, the first two teams after that Fiesta Bowl, where the first, yeah, it was just pretty disappointing. But I mean, to continue on the whole season thread, you then were able to get right with a game at home against Cincinnati where you found like some offensive flow. You found some flow there. Utah was another tough game to win at Rice
Hmm.
Eccles, and they were able to win that out. And then Kansas State, I mean, they did a great job of keeping Kansas State at bay. Even if Kansas State crawled back in, they were just able to keep the foot on the neck and just not allow Kansas State to gain momentum.
Yeah, they kept K State at arm's length the entire game. I
Hmm.
mean, honestly, I didn't really think that we were going to lose that game at all.
Hmm.
Um, honestly. But that that shows a testament to how tough this team is, and as
Hmm.
you know, really Campbell has climbed his number 4-2 against them, or 5-2 against them in the last 7 games.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, there was a time where what was it in like a 30-year period where like K State went like 25-5.
Yeah, that was when Bill Snyder. That was like Bill Snyder's
Yeah.
first tenure. So,
Yep.
and now with Campbell, like Iowa State has won 5 of the last 7, including beating Bill Snyder in his final regular season game, which was Farmageddon as well. That strip sack and then Mike Rose picking up the football and going in for the touchdown. I don't know, like that's like one of the loudest times I've heard Jack Trice ever.
That was insane. That was insane. I still can't. I was watching that. I was like, oh man, we really lost this game. And then I'm like, wow,
Back.
wow.
Mm-hmm. back in it, and then they were ultimately able to take the lead, and they never gave it up. So it's just the trial and tribulations of Iowa State. And now, I mean, you mentioned earlier, we mentioned this a couple times, but yeah, we are 3 weeks, or was it 2 or 3 weeks out from the Pop Tarts Bowl against Miami, and I think we mentioned it. We heard word that Cam Ward is likely to play in that Pop Tarts Bowl. You think Restrepo will be playing in that?
I mean, if he has that much influence, I think. I mean, Restrepo might be playing. Martinez is probably going to play too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he's going, if the quarterback's going to play, I think he's going to influence his teammates to play as well.
Mm-hmm.
I like that move. This movement from this era of players to actually play in this game.
Right. Because I think yeah, those two teams like want to prove something. Because I know Miami, they kind of slipped up at the end of the year. Like unfortunately, they didn't make the playoff, but they were basically for most of the year like the projected champion for the ACC. So they probably want to. I don't know. Maybe either there's two ways they can go at it. Either they can feel defeated and not decide to play, or they can go out and prove like that there's more to this Miami team than just like to prove that they are different, like or whatever. Like they prove that there's still something to play because I. 'Cause both teams do definitely have something to play for. Iowa
Yeah,
State. And
like
I think I'm overall excited. I think I'm excited for this matchup.
yeah, dude. Like, can you imagine like if we win this game going into the off season, have like having a win over the U, like especially just for me growing up, I hated Miami as a Florida fan. Like so, like
Mm-hmm.
I have a interest with Miami, and then
Yep.
fun fact, uh, Tez Williams, his dad played for Miami, so like
Oh.
that's
Hmm.
that's personal for their family. So
Interesting.
like yeah,
What year was his dad playing by any chance? Do you know by any chance?
I think he was on the 01 team.
Oh, when they won the national championship against
Hmm.
Nebraska, where they I'm not gonna lie, that I think that was a little bit of a mismatch if I'm looking at it. I feel like that was a little bit of a matchup, but
No, the yeah, Miami killed them. It was like 37-14.
yeah.
Nebraska had no chance. Yeah, so that 01 team, basically that entire team got drafted.
Oh yeah, because that's the one with
That
I
was
know.
with Jeremy Shockey, Sean Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see who else was on there. Clinton Portis,
Yeah.
Andre Johnson, like
Yep.
all them guys, all them dudes.
Yeah. I think Ed Reed was he on that
Ed
Miami
Reed
team?
was on that team.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
the one
that's
name
a
I
legendary team.
yeah, that's the one name I always think of when I think of that 01 Miami team. I always think of Ed Reed. That's the first name that comes up because yeah. Do you think that Miami team is like the most like is the greatest like college football
I
team of all
I will
time?
say that that Miami team is that Miami team is the greatest team of all time.
Mm, yep.
I will say that.
Yep.
I mean, I guess maybe if you everyone's like, well, what about 2019 LSU? They're like, I don't know, man. I'm like, offensively they were amazing, but like that what Miami
Defensively.
team, I don't know.
Yeah, we that would be interesting to see. Imagine the 2001 Miami team matched up against the 2019 LSU squad. But we'll have to see. But you mentioned Florida, so Florida's bowl matchup is going to be in the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl against Tulane. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, this is gonna be a really, really good. It's gonna be a good matchup for Florida, especially after just the year they had. They deserve to be rewarded. They're gonna play T. They're gonna or not TCTs. Tulane, very tough.
Yeah.
And call me a homer. They're gonna win it. They're gonna finish the season off strong, go 8-5,
Well,
and they're gonna have a great momentum going into the next season. So
yeah.
yeah, my Gators are gonna finish the season off with a win.
Hmm. Yeah. There are some other things that we've seen around with scheduling. So I think today the Big Ten did announce the 2025 schedule. So I'm taking a look at some of these here. We're gonna obviously talk about I guess we can talk about Iowa because we have a thing with them. Obviously we have Cyhawk, so their schedule goes as follows. So they host Albany week 1. Week 2 they visit Jack Trice Stadium for the Cyhawk series. Week 3 they play UMass. Week 4 they play looks like it's at Rutgers. Week 5 they host Indiana. Week 6 they have a bye. Week 7 they're at Wisconsin. Weeks 8 and 9 they host home games. Week 8 they host Penn State. Week 9 they host Minnesota. A bye week 10. Week 11 they host Oregon. Week 12 they travel to LA to take on the Trojans this time around, not the Bruins, the Trojans. Week 13 they host the Michigan State Spartans, and then week 14 they travel to Nebraska. What's your initial reaction to that schedule?
It's all going to depend on the quarterback position for me. If they have any semblance of good quarterback play, I can see that schedule go with being 9-3.
Yeah, the
If it's the same quarterback play, they'll go 7-5, 6-6.
yeah with I mean I did see that Hank Brown is visit like did he officially commit to Iowa or is he like on a visit? Because I did see word about Hank
I
Brown
think
from
he's on
Auburn.
a. I think he's on a visit. I didn't see anything about a commitment.
Yeah, because I knew like because I was seeing word like there was an interest for Hank Brown from Auburn to go to Iowa. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, just yeah, that's just your like my initial thing. So we'll see how this develops. But yeah, just wanted to get your initial thoughts on that
No,
coming out today.
definitely. Well, yeah. So thank you guys for joining us for our brief emergency pod. Um, join us on Friday as we break down basketball action from Thursdays and Wednesday nights action.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we'll be able to have my friend Logan Hayes on to join us to break down the action. As always, you can find us on X/Twitter. Cody at um, Matt Campbell Impersonator, me at SciTi Guy. Find us on all of our social media, I believe in Iowa State, BLEAV, 5 different forms: YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So for Tyler Carter,
And for Cody Van Ciello,
this is a Believe in Iowa State podcast. Roll clones, baby.
let's go State, beat Iowa.